I don't think he can process and just center it on Kendrick because I feel like he feels like that the whole industry is against him.
When there's blood in the water, it attracts the sharks.
That we're tired of you being the top guy, and it's time to get you out of position.
I'll second that.
Stop playing with that boy.
Goes into the untouchable category.
Okay.
Because Drake is about to start rapping.
Why is y'all hating on Drake because of the Kendrick Lamar?
Who's hating on Drake?
What happens when a fan base stops listening to music and starts rewriting reality? When every L gets flipped into a W through denial, delusion, and straight-up fabrication? Today, we're diving deep into the full-scale meltdown of Drake's fan base. And trust me, this isn't just a loss. This is a self-own of historic proportions. Kendrick didn't just win the beef, he broke an illusion, and the internet is still trying to recover. This wasn't just a moment, it was a moment of reckoning.
Fuck Kendrick Lamar, bro.
Fuck Kendrick. No, Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar.
This is why people don't take y'all seriously.
Fans who once rode for Drake with unshakable loyalty are now clinging to theories, spinning fantasies, and pretending the obvious never happened. What we're witnessing is more than denial. It's a complete collapse of narrative control. And in that collapse, we see a rapper who relied too much on image and too little on bars. The Grand National Tour had barely started. No gimmicks, no build-up, no label-engineered hype cycle, just Kendrick Lamar stepping on stage. And suddenly, the internet lost its mind. Before DJ Mustard even finished his warm-up set, photos of empty seats started spreading like wildfire. A few blurred shots taken 20 minutes before the show were being shared by OVO fan accounts like Gospel. See, no one showed up. Tour's a flop. They ignored timestamps, ignored venue info, ignored logic. But that was just the start of something darker. In an era where perception is everything, the desperation to rewrite the story started before the lights even dimmed. And as the real footage rolled in, packed arenas, screaming crowds, viral performances, it was already too late. Drake fans had dug in. They weren't just skeptical, they were committed to the lie. They needed the narrative to be true, because if Kendrick was really selling out shows, really commanding that level of energy, it meant they were on the wrong side of the biggest L in modern rap, and they couldn't accept that. The empty seat narrative didn't last long, because within the hour, footage emerged of a jam-packed stadium, people screaming every bar of "Not Like Us" like it was the national anthem. So what did Drake's fans do? They pivoted. And the pivot was wild. Now they said the crowd was fake, that the label paid fans to show up, that some videos were AI generated to simulate hype. Let that sink in. Kendrick didn't fill a stadium. The stadium was filled for him by bots, apparently. These weren't 12-year-olds trolling Reddit. These were actual grown adults, some with fan pages, merch stores, thousands of followers, pushing these theories like it was gospel. We weren't witnessing debate. We were watching mass hysteria. The paranoia only escalated. Every successful clip from the concert was dissected. Background details were labeled suspicious. Voice recordings were questioned. Even audience reactions were accused of being staged. The need to discredit Kendrick overpowered any grip on reality. Because for these fans, accepting his success meant acknowledging Drake's silence, and they just couldn't do it. And the worst part? These narratives caught on. YouTubers, fan accounts, even podcasts picked them up. What began as a desperate Reddit thread morphed into a widespread alternate reality where Kendrick's tour was some kind of Truman Show simulation. And no matter how much proof piled up, they refused to climb out of the hole. When Kendrick took the mic and performed "Not Like Us" in front of that crowd, things hit another level. It wasn't just a performance, it was a statement. He called Drake out directly, didn't sugarcoat a word. And the fan base? They snapped. Now they claimed Kendrick was obsessed, that he was keeping the beef alive to stay relevant. Mind you, this was his own tour, his own fans, his own stage. And yet, somehow, Kendrick performing a chart-topping track that he wrote was seen as evidence that he's desperate. It was like watching someone lose a chess match and then accuse the winner of cheating, for playing the final move. But Kendrick wasn't playing games. He leaned in, made eye contact with the crowd, delivered every bar with surgical precision. And in doing so, he reminded everyone why he's a generational talent. The fans who were there knew it. The energy was electric. The moment was undeniable. But just when things couldn't get more surreal, Drake did something nobody expected. He started citing meme pages and Twitter posts in legal filings. Yes, real court paperwork included screenshots of fan accounts and speculative posts being used as if they were legitimate sources. This wasn't rap beef anymore, it was turning into Judge Judy meets Reddit. And the worst part? It completely undercut Drake's credibility. When you go from back-to-back to "Your Honor, this meme proves my point," you've lost more than the battle. You've lost the plot. Drake used to be untouchable. He moved with intention, played the long game. But these legal maneuvers felt rushed, emotional, desperate. And that desperation bled into his music, or lack thereof. Instead of responding in the booth, Drake picked up a pen. And not to write lyrics, but to file paperwork. It was the final form of deflection. Avoid the mic. Let lawyers do the talking. Kendrick? He didn't need a judge. He had the crowd. Here's the kicker. Everything Drake's fans are accusing Kendrick of, he already did himself. After beating Meek Mill, Drake milked the win like a full-time job. He wore troll shirts. He played back-to-back everywhere. At concerts, award shows, even on Saturday Night Live. He lived in that win for a year. But now that Kendrick's doing the same thing, suddenly it's petty. Overdone? Clout chasing? Nah, that's called projection. Drake's blueprint is being used against him, and the fans can't take it. The hypocrisy was so loud it echoed through social media. Comment sections were flooded with side-by-side comparisons, clips of Drake taunting Meek next to Kendrick's stage presence. The double standard became impossible to defend. Even neutral fans started calling it out. People who weren't even part of the beef were saying it, if Drake can do it, Kendrick can too. And that's when the narrative started slipping from their control. Then came a new low, accusing SZA of lip-syncing. Multiple viral clips from the tour showed SZA giving emotional, pitch-perfect performances, and yet Drake's fans claimed it was fake. Again, no evidence, just vibes. The same people who cheered for Drake's auto-tuned arena shows suddenly became vocal defenders of real vocals. It was hypocrisy on full display, and once again, it made the entire fanbase look unhinged. They didn't stop at SZA. Other performers were questioned too. Even the DJ's transitions were accused of being pre-recorded. It was as if every moment of the tour was being scanned for any imperfection that could be turned into proof of fraud. They weren't watching to enjoy it. They were watching to discredit it. That's not criticism. That's obsession. And as each new theory popped up, the fanbase moved further away from defending Drake and closer to attacking reality itself. While Kendrick was performing, Drake was doing live streams, dropping cryptic captions, sneaking in subliminals. He wasn't responding with music, he was reacting with emotion. Even his attempts to seem unaffected, like the Box Kendrick joke, came off as insecure. You lost the lyrical war. You didn't tour, and now your fans are pushing conspiracy theories while your legal team pushes paperwork. It's not a good look. The longer he stayed silent musically, the louder the noise became. Fans were begging for a track, a verse, a freestyle, something, anything. But instead, they got moody selfies, passive-aggressive tweets, and vague jabs on Twitch. At some point, people stopped waiting. They moved on. And Kendrick filled that silence with stadium roars. This wasn't just a rap beef, it was a mirror held up to hip-hop. Kendrick didn't just win, he made the industry ask questions. What matters more? Viral antics or lyrical content? What's more powerful? Legal threats or bars? The answer became obvious. Kendrick stuck to the music. The fans stuck to denial. And by doing that, he made this moment about more than just Drake. He exposed the entire ecosystem around branding, bias, and blind loyalty. It was the most important win since Ether. And everyone watching knew it. And here's the thing. Kendrick didn't need to win the internet. He won the stage. He won the moment. And he won it on his terms. That's something no amount of PR spin or Twitter threads can undo. This was clarity, and the people watching felt it. Because for the first time in a long time, the best rapper actually won. And it wasn't close. Now here's the real danger for Drake. This isn't just a loss, it's a pivot point. Because the next time he drops music, people aren't going to just listen, they're going to compare. To Kendrick, to the beef, to the silence. Every track will be analyzed through a new lens, and that lens was created by Not Like Us. The illusion is gone. The image is cracked. And unless Drake reinvents himself musically, quickly, this beef might haunt him for years. The pressure is higher than ever, and the room for error? Gone. Because the bar isn't just drop a hit, it's prove you're still worthy. That's what Kendrick took away. Not just the win, but the benefit of the doubt. It's been months since the beef started, and Kendrick isn't even feeding it anymore. He's performing, touring, living. Meanwhile, the Drake fanbase is still spinning conspiracies, still rewriting reality, still coping. And honestly, it's tragic. Because somewhere along the way, this stopped being about music, and it turned into a cult of personality. So here's the question. If your whole fanbase needs delusion to defend you, are you really winning? This spiral isn't slowing down. And if Drake doesn't step up soon, it won't just be a fanbase in trouble. It'll be a legacy. Let me know what you think. Is this the worst fan meltdown in rap history? Or is Drake still playing some kind of 4D chess we're not ready for? Drop a comment below, like, subscribe, and don't forget to check out the next breakdown on how Not Like Us became the new national anthem of West Coast hip-hop. This isn't just rap, this is history. And history doesn't lie.